Hello everybody, DarkPhoenix Ninja 92 here, and welcome back to Let's Play Tyranny. Last time we left off, we killed the leader of the Unbroken, yet for some inexplicable reason, the Edict of Storms ravaging the region is still ongoing, and we don't know exactly why. Also, 2 party members have leveled up, so I need to deal with that right now. And we will. Can't put more points into spell strength. But I'll give him 1 more point in might, just because that's so low at the moment. And we will give him Moment of Peace so we can revive characters at higher health and they can't immediately die again. Next we have Ebb, our resident mage. And she is going to get some bonus health just because as a mage she's rather squishy and I want to deal with that as best I can. And let's see. What next? Bonus to damages dealt by magic staves. I think that would be nice because we do occasionally use her default attacks. And now we will head over here and see what's going on. His Amelia ran off over here and we heard the sound of a baby crying, so we gotta check that out. Blocking the doorway, Amelia regards you with eyes that brim with tears, yet blaze with hints of her father's grim resolve. She has armored herself in disfavored raiment to face you down. Stay away from my daughter. You will not have her. Oh no. Oh, by the Archon's mercy, don't let this be so. Oh my god. But how is this possible? I thought you were a prisoner here. My union with Stratus the Younger. Even in remembrance, Amelia doesn't shed her warlike resolve. He showed me kindness behind these walls, and taught me about Stalwart and the Tears, culture and heritage that made these people the pride of the realm. He died in the 3rd year of the conquest. A disfavored spear pinned him to the ground he fought to defend, and he never rose again. So, your daughter is the regent's heir. Your daughter is the heir to the regency, then. You've killed Stratus Herodin, she is. Amelia draws herself up and glares at you. She has nothing to do with Kairos or the Edict. You have no right to judge her on the basis of her blood. Well, Amelia, much as I hate to be the one to say this, I'm afraid she does have something to do with both Kairos and the Edict. You see, her being alive has prolonged the Edict. Did you know this would be the case? We suspected that the bloodline would implicate my baby in Kairos' eyes, but I knew nothing for certain until this moment. She shakes her head. Don't ask me to interpret the Overlord's heartless design. I have no love for this edict, if that's what you're asking. It's torn a noble realm to pieces, fractured the pillar of their culture, and ruined countless lives. She releases a heavy sigh and hardens her intense gaze. But I have a responsibility to the people of Stalwart to preserve their heritage and leadership. My father and the other Archons destroyed this nation. She and I, Amelia glances back at the crib, then focuses back on you. We can help put it together. What a naive notion. I thought better of you, but this shows nothing but contempt for all that the disfavored accomplished and sacrificed in the conquest. Demetrius shakes his head with disapproval. The regent remained in Sentinel's stand for her protection. The edict was his responsibility to shoulder, not hers. She tips her head down in challenge. My daughter will not be another victim of Paris' conquest. She has the blood of the North coursing through her veins, and no one has the right to take her life. Okay, let's think this through for a moment. Tiberius is, in a lot of regards, I have to admit, a bit of a heartless bastard. He'll do some pretty evil things if he feels it's in the good of the many. But, as far as he can tell, there's no real reason to just kill a baby without considering alternatives. So, while he's not going to rule out the possibility that they may have to kill Amelia's child to end this, we're not going to go to that as our first choice. We will consider other alternatives before we go down that route. As he would rather not kill a child if he can avoid it. Though Tiberius does acknowledge that it might not be avoidable. Calm yourself, Amelia. There must be another way, and I'm willing to search for one. Another way? Demetrius shakes his head in sadness. Amelia turned her back on the Legion. The general has no place for the disloyal, no matter whose blood flows in their veins. Oh, shut up, Demetrius. You're nothing but an arrogant, self-righteous braggart. It's people like you that are the reason I have started to dislike the disfavored. Because you're a bunch of self-righteous, elitist pricks. All the same, if you can guarantee my daughter's life, I will return to Ash and submit to his judgment. She frowns. Harsh as it will be. That still leaves us with the matter of the Edict. What could we possibly do about the Edict of Storms? Regent blood flows through my daughter's veins. Well, perhaps there's a way to circumvent the law, Kairus' law in this matter. I will have to do some research into this matter. We might be onto something. There's a rich tradition of getting around these types of formalities, especially during a time of war. The only competent sources I would recommend are the Burning Library and Tunong's Court. Do we not enforce Kairus' law rather than go around it? Demetrius frowns. Either way, I'll remain here with my men until you come to a decision. I recommend you speak with General Ash about this matter. Thank you for looking into the matter. I'm sure that no answer could elude a fate finder of Tunong for long. I'll stay here with my daughter. We have nowhere else to go anyway. Lantry has become more loyal. And now, if we want to end this edict, we have to either kill a baby or find a way around the edict. Now, though, I'm going to save the game just in case. And I want to see something. Tiberius is a pretty lore-wise and knowledgeable individual as far as these things go, so perhaps he's already aware of a way around the edict. No, he is not. Our lore requirements are below. We don't have the required lore to be able to do this. So, what I'm going to do now is a somewhat gamey thing. I will visit my spire. I will visit my ocean spire that Tiberius controls and pay a few rings for the purpose of... Well, I'll pay a few rings to one of the trainers there to up my lore skill by 1. And then we will return. As I said, it's a somewhat exploitative and gamey solution. But I'm going to go for it right now. Just because it's only 1 point in lore, so I feel that's justifiable. We can rationalize that if we have to do such a thing. As Tiberius investigating the matter with some of the scribes and scholars and such he has under his employ. Or in his employ, rather, at the tower. He goes off to investigate the matter with them before anything else. Because that resource is geographically the closest to our current location. And far closer then either Tunon's court or Iron Hearth. Well, it's not closer than Iron Hearth, but as far as we know, Graven Ash is not exactly the most how do I put this? He's not the most tactful or flexible individuals. So Tiberius would like to avoid involving him if at all possible. So his thinking is, we investigate matters here, in our own library, as it were. And if we fail to turn up anything, we will then look at other options. Where are the people that are supposed to be working for me at the Spire at? How the hell did they get unhired? Seriously. Let's have a trainer who teaches lore and stuff. But I don't see him.
I got it.
I really do not. Where the hell is this person supposed to be at? Oh. Wait. I traveled to the wrong spire. Well done, me. See? I'm an idiot sometimes. We will now teleport to the correct one. And actually do this properly. But yeah, as far as in-universe things are concerned, that never happened. Because Tiberius is not that much of an idiot. Yes, yes. Train up my lore by one, please. The Sages Guild actually quite likes us, apparently. No. As does Lantry. As Tunon likes us. And the Wrath history is a rather bizarre and arbitrary one. Bladen Mark was watching. Apparently we did something and he didn't agree with it. Now I'm going to go. Let's find the blasted place. Sentinel stand. Now, Tiberius has done some minor research into the matter in some of the tomes present in his own library at the Ocean Spire, which, for the purpose of having an explanation I can give as to how he has those, Tunon and some other members of the court gave him these tomes when he let them know he was putting together a little library of his own at these spires for research purposes. In return for the fact that Tiberius promised this library would be open for free use by the court, they gave him a bunch of tomes that they might need access to, but wanted to have stored in a more secure location than in whatever the name of that damn city is. Oh, you're right. Then they wanted it kept somewhere more secure than the bastard city, and that wasn't an obvious location for thieves or anything. So Tunon and everyone basically cut a deal with Tiberius of, look, we're going to give you a bunch of these books for you to use, and we want you to store them in your spire, because that's a less easy to reach location, and that not nearly as many people would think to look in, so it's more secure from thieves and the like. We want you to store these there. You can use them for whatever you like, but in exchange for this, you have to let the Fatebinders use the spires as places to rest and store supplies and everything, as well as letting them make use of this library. And Tiberius agreed to that. And from personal experience, he knew a lot of things about what we're discussing with Amelia, and he basically had a good idea. And this book he found just basically filled in the blanks. I have an idea that could save your child. Thank the Regents. Have at it then. What's your idea? Abdicate your line. You must surrender your child's claim to the Regency. As Regent Mother, you have that authority. You merely have to say the words. Hope reflects in her expression for the first time. Is it truly as simple as that? A clerical formality to spare an innocent life? She huffs as much in surprise as derision. If this works, I'll owe you more than I can possibly repay. Here, the edict damaged this trinket, but you might still find it useful. I, Amelia, formally abdicate my daughter's claim to the Regency of Stalwart, dissolving all ties, compacts, vassals, and holdings. We forfeit all protections and advantages given by the ancient bloodline. She pauses. Was that enough? Silence descends upon the hall. For a moment it seems as if the wind outside had halted their dance. A loud crash against the hall doors breaks the stillness. Outside, the storm begins to whip about furiously, sending dust and debris into the chamber. Let's see if that did it. At first, you think the force of arcane power dissipating is enough to carve the skin from your bones. A sensation you attribute to the Edict of Storms, but it cools just as quickly. And we've done it. That's another edict down. The winds buffeting the keep have abated. Outside, an eerie silence pervades the air, a stillness that hasn't visited Stalwart for a long time. We gain favor with the Unbroken for helping them out, apparently. You can hear the very symbols that brought the Edict of Storms into being, each syllable proclaiming itself from a newfound corner of your mind. It would seem the edict is now a part of you. Thank goodness it worked. You spared my daughter, and here I had come to expect nothing but cruelty from the servants of Kairos. Amelia looks to the crib. Now we have a chance at what might never have been, a life outside these walls. My father can be severe and uncompromising, but I'll return to Iron Hearth and his protection, at least while the conflict persists. Hopefully he isn't so consumed by war that I can't still appeal to him as a man and father. I always appreciated them more than the Archon. I regret none of the decisions I made to get here. We'll disagree on much, but my daughter will be safe. The stalemate between the Unbroken and the Disfavored is at an end, a victory that can't be measured in rings. Thank you, Fatebinder. I'll remain at Sentinel's stand to secure this location, and send word to Ash of your excellent work.
Got it.
Our power has increased by ending the Edict of Storms. Making a stand has been updated. And Sentinel's stand is under the control of the Disfavored. We must now return to discuss the matter with Ash. I wonder, what's his reaction going to be to this whole thing with Amelia and his granddaughter? No. Keep is safe in our hands. Repairs are already underway. Yeah, thanks for that. Do not need to know. Now the Disfavored have control of a good chunk of it, and they're putting their banners up. Ash will want to hear about what we've accomplished here. I'll hang back and oversee repairs of the defenses.
On it.
And hopefully you will actually decide to make the area livable again, despite the fact that it's formerly rebel territory. I'm hoping they clean the place up and actually do something to the effect. And I'm hoping they actually start repairs on the area around where the civilian populace used to live, and start getting the former realm of Stalwart back in what we call a tolerable state of being again. That would be very nice, though I'm not holding my breath considering, and I've mentioned this multiple times, the Disfavored are kind of dicks to anyone who's not of a northern bloodline. So, I don't really have very high hopes of them doing anything quite that proactive and helpful. Still, we will head to Iron Hearth. Encounter in the Blade Grave. Oh, right. That's something I forgot to mention. I do actually have the Tales of the Tears expansion installed now, so we will occasionally get stuff like this. Let's see. We see this little bit of the Runner long before we see the purple tabard insignia of a Crescent Runner. The Scouts of the Legion. He snaps to salute as she approaches. Fatebinder, I come bearing words from Iron Guard Ramalan. The Scarlet Chorus don't understand the Archon's privilege and make another attack upon Sentinel's stand. Kept their scouts from the wall thus far. But a second gang bivouacs less than a day's journey from the Citadel. You can lend your blade. A sudden assault from the rear would surely turn this tide of battle. And we'll travel to Sentinel's stand keep to help out. Howling of the gangs as we approach. And shitload of Scarlet Chorus. Noise is maddening, but it lets us approach undetected. I will now save my game, so that if we die or are badly injured, I can reload without having to redo a bunch of stuff.
This'll be fun. Will do.
And we are now going to just let everyone do their own thing.
On your knees, worm.
While Ebb blasts them with her fancy magics.
On it.
There's 3 of them over there. I want to check around and see who is where on this map first, though. And our question about the spies, blah blah blah. I've not asked everything I can in terms of those missives, but
This'll be fun.
that's a decent chunk of them. Okay. Please murder his ass. I mean, we've got other guys coming in, so sooner is better.
I'd have it no other way.
And there they go.
Yes.
There's also a lot of them over there, so I'm thinking we take out the ones up here first, because there's numerically fewer of them.
I got it.
Luring them to where the rest of my companions are going to stand.
Of course.
And then making these guys fight the way I want them to. And there actually are not less than in that other spot, apparently. That's annoying. Those guys, we can potentially outflank them. Though that doesn't really make a whole lot of difference in this game. Would still be nice to do, because reasons. And now... I'm going to save again. And see if we can't take care of these guys first.
Trouble is afoot.
Yep. We managed to pull 2 of them, so...
On it.
I think we can manage this. So, Ebb, first of all, do some of that. Beric, go. Lantry and Tiberius can also go.
Grovel before me.
And now we will continue beating the crap out of them. As you do, you know?
I got it.
And let's get them. That's them down. Now I wait for everyone to heal up. And then we engage the rest of those guys down there, and then we'll have to fight these guys. Again, I'm hoping to lure a handful of them off. Only 2 of these idiots, fortunately. Tiberius, I think I want you going after that fucking mage. Beric can get the horde. So can Lantry. And Ebb,
Demonstration of our power.
you move up and use your AoE spell.
In order.
That. Tiberius, I told you to attack the mage. Now, continue.
On your knees, world.
Ebb, I do believe he needs an introduction to the ground. And I also think that's them dead.
Right.
Well now, we've cleared out a good chunk of the enemies. And we're healed up, so I will save my game. then pull back a little bit,
Yes.
not including Tiberius.